Let's check out every single minion the witch can summon, and also possible support gem combinations because they're tons. The goal of this video is to give you some inspiration for your witch starting point, so you're not completely lost as you take your first steps into Path of Exile 2. First would be the Skeletal Arsonist. Summons bomb throwing, reviving Skeletal Arsonists. The reviving means that they come back after they die. You don't have to manually revive them. And these Arsonists can detonate other minions on command. Every minion comes with a special ability. Bind Spectre, self-explaining. You can capture the spirit of a defeated monster, allowing you to summon it as a minion. And they set pretty much any monster. Frost Mages have elemental resistance, and they can freeze themselves on command to slow nearby enemies. You could probably use them as some kind of taunter. We'll look at the support gems there. Skeletal Cleric also has base elemental resistance, and they can heal other minions and revive them faster, because they will be cooldown as soon as one minion dies until that one comes back, and they'll just get them up out of the ground. The standard Race Zombie consumes a corpse or power charge to create a zombie. Zombies created from power charges are empowered for a longer duration. Limited 10 race zombies. Base empowered duration is 30 seconds. Empowered zombies deal 100% more damage, have more life, and empowered zombies have more movement speed. There will be a Skeletal Brood, a hard-hitting, reviving Skeletal Brood that can stun primed enemies. Pulled up by Reavers that will be able to enrage on command. Enrage is most likely going to have them deal more damage. My favorite are the Skeletal Snipers because they can actually drop a poison bomb from the top that is also armor breaking. This has turned out extremely useful in the early gameplay I've done. Lastly, Skeletal Storm Mages. They can call down lightning storms on dead skeletons on command. Ergo, use your Arsonist to send a Brood or a Reaver forward, explode them, and then with a Skeletal Mage, you can have lightning bolts strike exactly that location. There's more with the minion tag though. For example, Raging Spirit reserves Spirit, just like all your other minion skills. While active, your fire spells will also summon Raging Spirits, which are short-lived, flaming skeletons that rush at nearby enemies and rapidly attack them. Enemies will not directly engage these minions and can pass through them. This is a staple mechanic that's often being used in Path of Exile 1. You need to apply some kind of fire spell to get your Raging Spirits rolling, like a simple fireball. Just spam away and have your Raging Spirits pop up and harass the enemy. And the interesting part is, they're short-lived flaming skulls. They do actually have a life bar that depletes and then they're gone. And as a possible support gem, you could already take Minion Instability. Minions from supported skills explode when reduced to low life, dealing 7% of their life as fire damage to surrounding enemies. It could be perfectly used for Raging Spirits to just have exploding Raging Spirits. Now with your support gems, keep in mind, you can only use one of them. So if I make my Raging Spirits now, the exploding minions, I cannot use anything else anymore, because I might want to actually take my Skeletal Brutes. And these Skeletal Brutes are supposed to taunt. Reading Meat Shield support, minions from supported skill have a 10% chance to taunt on hit. Minions from supported skills are defensive, turning them into your tanks. And if you already have defensive tanks, you might want to have them explode. But there's another thought here. This is where the real fun in Path of Exile 2 starts. We could also raise zombies from corpses. And these zombies from corpses are turned into an Infernal Legion. Minions from supported skills take 20% of their maximum life as fire damage per second, and minions from supported skill deal 5% of their maximum life as fire damage per second to nearby enemies. Good. Summon zombies that are essentially taking fire damage, then we're going to hand them the instability that we essentially have on the Raging Spirits, so they lose life and they would explode on no life, and we can continuously resummon them. And if you want to, you just add bonus fire damage to them. And to add the cherry on top, you could also make them aggressive, that they're searching out the opponent. So birding, race zombies that explode and search out the opponent. On the other hand, the Raging Spirits, for example, that go out are minions, correct? And they're short-lived and will die, which makes them the prime candidate for something rather interesting. Recover 50 mana when a minion from supported skills dies. Essence Harvest on Raging Spirits. We will shoot a fire spell, like the Fireball, that summons Raging Spirit, which then die and restore our mana, so we can summon more Fireballs to get Raging Spirits to get more mana. That's already secure. We have our mana loop done. And then we can add any other awesomeness to our fray as we are working our way towards the Infernalist. And this brings us to another interesting one, Minion Pact. Supported skills removes 20% of your maximum life from a nearby minion on use to deal 20% more damage. This could be used to make more potent raging spirits, or to actually use a real damaging skill together with your minions. For example, you got Unearth. Raises spikes of bone from earth in front of you, damaging enemies. The bones of corpses in the area are ripped out and reassembled into short-lived bone constructs. This does some damage, and you get these bone construct that hunt your opponents. The bone construct duration is 12 seconds, and then they die. These bone constructs can be also turned into the Infernal Legion that we talked about before, that they will actually then do fire damage and seek out your opponent, that they will then do fire damage and seek out their opponents. You could also have these bone constructs be the minion instability that they explode. But this Unearth can then keep taking life away from your minions that you want to explode, or from your raging spirits, to give you more minions to deal more damage, to then take life away to do more damage, to then take life away to do more damage. Minion Pact being a truly interesting one. And if you ever wonder if a skill works or does not work with minions, usually they say they cannot support the skills of minions. Elemental Discharge or Bursting Plague cannot support the skills of minions. Enervation cannot support skills which create minions or skills used by totems or traps. That's usually a keyword for doesn't work. And if it's not in there, there's usually a way to kind of make it work. Now don't forget, you cannot only summon minions. There's also the offerings. For example, a Pain Offering impales a skeleton on a bone spike to empower nearby minions into a frenzy as long as the spike remains, causing them to use skills more quickly. One Pain Offering, aura grants minions attack speed, bonus damage, spike duration is 5 seconds, and aura radius is 6 meters. This will obviously increase the higher you level up this skill. There's a Power Offering, impales a skeleton on a bone spike, extracting a power charge unless the spike is destroyed. That power charge can then be used on the race zombies, for example, to create super zombies. And we get the Bone Offering, impales a skeleton on a bone spike to shield your minions while the spike remains. The shield absorbs all damage from the next hit each minion takes and then explodes, which means the Bone Offering can essentially be used on your skeletal brutes or reavers, which are in the front line, and then just impale them, save damage, boom, explode outwards, do damage. If you want to support your lats, you can also pull out the curses. For example, Flammability. Curse radius is 1.7 meters, which will get boosted with a level up, and cursed enemies have minus 32% fire resistance. Haha, very good, because we obviously want to play Raging Spirits. We want to play Infernal Legion. And if our opponents then take more fire damage, that's fantastic. A simple vulnerability curse, reducing their armor. Or my personal favorite called Blasphemy. Now I'm not sure if we can get this rolling with minions together. Combines all socketed curse skills into a vile aura, applying their effect to all nearby enemies. This is cute, but it reserves spirit per socketed curse. And our spirit is used already for minions. So we don't really want to use more skills that reserve spirit, as we want to have the maximum amount of minions out supporting us. Now, we talked about power charges on the zombie, and we already have one generator to make power charges to make essentially more powerful zombies. But how otherwise could you gain power charges? And there's numerous skills for this, but one that works really well for the witch. And that would be the Profane Ritual. Marks a corpse with a profane rune, dealing chaos damage over time to nearby enemies. When the ritual is complete, the corpse is consumed and you gain a power charge. Corpses, profane them, consume it, raise a super zombie. Or use that power charge for a Bone Storm. Channel to conjure a swarm of bone spikes in the air, then release to fire them at the enemy. Shrapnel lodges an enemy's hit, causing attacks against them to deal additional damage. And consume your power charges to cause the spikes to explode on impact, damaging all nearby enemies. Super Shotgun. Now to my favorite skill that I'll play with any minion build. Contagion. Afflicts a single enemy with a debuff that deals chaos damage over time. If the enemy dies while affected by Contagion, it and all other chaos damage over time debuffs spread to nearby enemies and refresh their durations. Now comes the kicker. Reanimating or detonating a corpse affected by Contagion will cause the minion or explosion to spread Contagion on hit. Which means if we're playing Contagion as our #1 skill, and then you're already adding Unearth to the fray, We have a skill that unearths corpses to make bone constructs. And these bone constructs, if they're being unearthed from a corpse that was contagion affected, you will have poison spreading little nerds that can go out there to then explode on death as well. Quite a nice loop already. And don't forget, affected by contagion, it and all other chaos damage over time debuffs spread to nearby enemies. Ergo, if we put even more chaos damage debuffs on it, there will be more spread. For example, if you apply Essence Drain as well, fires a projectile that applies a chaos damage over time debuff when it hits, should then also keep on essence draining. This is already a potential starter that can then carry you together with any minions you wish to add to the fray. Might it be zombies, brutes, reavers, snipers, all of that. And the other starter opposed to that was the Raging Spirit together then with a potential fireball. So you got two choices here. And if you use fireballs, you can also use the multiple projectiles on them to just make more fireballs, since the Raging Spirits accurately say projectiles from fire spells summon a spirit on hit. That means if you have a fireball with multiple projectiles, you get more Raging Spirits on hit. And since you can have a maximum of 10 Raging Spirits at the beginning, that's like then a triple click on your fireball to summon 9 fireballs and just get all the Raging Spirits straight away, to have them always up. Now let's take a peek at Contagion again, because we had this Contagion Unearth combo of making ourselves the bone constructs and then actually chaos damage over timing them and spreading this around. But what could we do more with this? What is their support for chaos damage in the end? Chaotic Freeze. Enemies taking chaos damage over time from supported skill receive freeze buildup when hit by chaos damage. So my unearthed chaos spreading minions will then keep spreading the contagion that's also freezing enemies. And then we could add a decaying hex on top. Supported skills inflict decay, dealing 10% of intelligence as chaos damage per second for 8 seconds. And that will be essentially carried forward by our unearthed constructs. This already gives you 2 good starting opportunities with just the simple contagion unearth or the Fireball Raging Spirit strategy. This was meant as a starter overview to give you some inspiration on what is possible. And I hope I could get you excited and you get some ideas of your own already you want to drop in the comments. The list of all these skills, the website, is linked in the description below, so shower us with ideas. There will be live streams where I build out the summoner, where I essentially go more in depth with this, and follow-up guides. You now want to have more of a witch overview and general Path of Exile 2 information. Enjoy and have a killer good day.